This one is probably going to get me in trouble, but I think the HMIC is heading us off to WW3, especially if we look at all the ways in which history is repeating itself right now. Authoritarianism always follows a pattern. Economic chaos, propaganda, dehumanization, and power grabs. The Great Depression was the catalyst for our tangerine tyrants' favorite historical leaders' rise to power. They had 30% unemployment, hyperinflation, poverty at an all-time high. People were desperate. And now, look at what the spray-tan strongman is trying to do here in the United States. He's crashing our economy and making sure that everyone is desperate. We saw all through the, prior to the election, the propaganda and the dehumanizing language and the similarities there with vermin and rats and spoiling the blood. And of course, Agent Orange is following the playbook with exactly what was done in Germany, as he was elected legally and then declared a state of what did he use? It's called the Reichstag fire, right? To suspend all the civil liberties of the people, which is exactly what's happening here. Didn't you hear the whole, he wants to send the homegrowns to the gulag in El Salvador? And let's talk about that, because that was a big favorite of the Nazi regime was detention camps. And that's not any different than what we are doing right now with shipping people off to gulags in El Salvador. Auschwitz was not in Germany. They were shipping them out of the country there too. It always starts with others, like it's done, like it did here, like it did there, right? It started with the criminals, but everybody, or the vast majority of the people that they've been deported, are not criminals. They have absolutely no history of criminal activity in any way, shape, and form. But they've already said they want to move on to the homegrowns. That means U.S. citizens. That means you and me. In Germany, the first concentration camps were for political prisoners. And then it expanded to include the Jews and the LGBTQ community and other people. The Nazis were all about loyalism. Trumpism is exactly the same. It's about loyalty to the leader over loyalty to the law or the Constitution or the country. So while I won't say that it's inevitable, many of the preconditions are already in place for this to happen. Think about it. Multiple regional conflicts are heating up, and there's been a breakdown in international order. Russia is waging war against the Ukraine, Israel is waging war in Gaza, and China is threatening war against Taiwan. And of course, us in the United States, we are threatening war against Canada, Greenland, Panama, and I don't know who else. I haven't listened to the Führer this morning. This rhetoric of us versus them is, of course, being amplified on a global scale. It's the white supremacists against everybody else. It's men against women. On a globally, all these far-right movements are talking about national restoration. I mean, think about how many times we've heard Christian nationalists in recent years. All of the diplomatic norms are breaking down. I mean, we're now enemies with everyone? And nuclear powers are getting increasingly aggressive. And worldwide, all of these sort of authoritarian-leaning leaders are consolidating power and just cracking down on dissent anywhere. So if the U.S. returns to an authoritarian rule, which we had once in the past, it really could tip the balance, especially if we are uniting with other authoritarian strongmen types. I don't know if we've learned our lesson. History isn't really something to study. It's something that we repeat if we haven't learned our lesson. And it's kind of looking that way to me. I think we still have the power to stop this, but only if we stop pretending that it can't happen here, because it can, and it is, and it's up to us to stop it. Join the conversation. I'd love to know what you think. Are we standing on the edge of WW3?